In today's episode of Love Hacks, I want to talk to you as if we were sitting on the floor having coffee or a couple of glasses of wine, and you asked me, if you could go back to your 20s, what would you want to know about love? Truth is, most of us didn't learn about love from healthy couples. We learned from stories, movies, songs, and whatever chaos we saw at home. We were given big feelings and happy endings, but almost no tools. So this isn't an episode about how to get a text back or how to win in situationships. This is about the deep stuff I wish someone had sat me down and explained. Why you feel that crazy pull towards the wrong people. Why losing yourself in love feels romantic until it doesn't. Why calm love can feel boring when you're used to chaos. And how to stop repeating the same story with different faces. Whether you're 22 or 52, I want you to listen to this as a little message to your younger self. The part of you that was just trying to be loved with zero manuals. Take a breath and let's untangle a few myths together.
Everybody, I'm Renee and this
is Michaela. How are you today?
I'm good. It's the 1st of March. You know, spring is just around the corner, so I'm in a good mood. How about yourself, Michaela?
I am fine. Everything's fine. Now the weather is weird because it's very cold in the morning, very warm during the day, and then cold at night. So it's crazy. I don't know how to dress. I don't know what to do, anything.
Well, same here. It's been, in the morning it's crisp here, and the skies are really blue. But then by 3 o'clock, suddenly all these freaking clouds show up, and you see like droplets of rain, but like just a little bit, and then night comes. And it gets incredibly damp. In the morning it's dry and crisp, and by 3 o'clock it's damper. It is weird. I have no idea what's going on.
I mean, me neither. But yeah, it's exhausting because you don't know how to wear, what to do, and yeah. But anyway, it's fine. My life is being okay, so I'm not going to complain about the weather.
Yeah, no. I mean, we're okay. Sadly, around the world, there's bad news. I won't get into it, but we're lucky where we're at.
Yeah, absolutely. So, What's the topic from today?
Well, the topic is things I wish I knew about love in my 20s.
Oh, okay. Right? Me too. I wish I knew all this stuff. Even before my 20s, I mean, it would be in my teenagers. Mm-hmm. Be a good thing too. I mean, why not?
Yeah, no, definitely. But sometimes I think I still don't know in my now 50s. So that's what we're going to get into too. But definitely 20s. But it's like really you try to learn and a lot of the time you don't, right? So blessed are those that do learn. I'm still in the learning curve. But hey, I'm okay. So Now, why is it, like, if we go back to the past, why is it that we would say, our younger years, for example, what do you think influenced us?
Oh my God, I think that all the examples that we had growing up, all the Disney movies where everything is magnificent, everything was not okay, and suddenly you met someone, and this someone, you are like, oh, I like this person, and suddenly the movie goes on and you have a problem, and then you have Mr. Prince who is here to save you, and then you have to fight a little bit more because it's always a bad person trying to make things bad to you to get the prince, and then the prince shows you that you are the one and the only one, and then you live happily ever after. I think that's a big problem, because that's not the way it works. The movie always ends up when they when they are about to get married, or when the relationship is finally there, and that's it.
Yeah, it's so perfect, isn't it? And yeah, I admit to you that absolutely I was taught that. I was taught about, for example, stay a virgin until you get married, and the guy should look like a prince, and they never got into, for example, extended family or political families. They just focused on the guy. Like they would keep out the in-laws and issues like that,
Mm-hmm.
and like they never talked about money,
No, you never know what's going on after the wedding or the end of the movie. And sadly, it's not just Walt Disney where you see all this stuff. All the movies that we are romantic, dramatic, or comedy movies and stuff like that, they always end when they are like finding each other again. When you see that movie, with Matthew McConaughey and
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Yeah, this one. At the end, it's the same story. You have all the beautiful moments in the beginning, then something goes wrong, then you are like, oh, the relationship it's over, and at the end they find each other again, and you have to assume that the relationship was happily ever after. But you never know what's going on after, when these people are actually living together, and how hard it is to live with someone. Because living with someone, it's nice, it might be beautiful, but at the same time, it's a nightmare. Because it's very, very hard to find, the balance in the relationship when you're living with someone. Because maybe you spend, I don't know, dating this person around two years. But if you didn't live with this person before you're getting married or whatever, or you moved in after the 2 years, in the third years when you decided to live together, it's when in reality all the relationship really begins, because it's when you have to share your space with this person, it's when you have to find a way to really be with this person, and when every single thing that you didn't know about this person is starting to coming out, and you have to deal with that.
Yes, yeah, exactly. They don't get into, as you said, the future. They don't get into any of the issues you have as a couple, right? So, I was brainwashed with that, those perfect endings, the expectations, So I had to live certain things. I'm still living certain things, right?
Yeah.
Because there was no manual, right? Like, they just give you positive stuff, like songs, like, you're the love of my life.
Yeah. Everything is perfect. Everything is about chemistry and electricity and being together and emotions and how exciting it is to be with someone, when in reality you cannot live in that state of mind all the time. So when you start the relationship and everything is fine, well, yeah, maybe the first 6 months after when the supposedly happy ever after is starting, you are like, oh yeah, it's exciting. But when you start to see how this person really is, because when you are seeing someone a couple of hours, or maybe you go to holidays with this person might be able to control some kind of reactions. But if you go with someone for more than a month, this person is going to start to really show who this person is, because you cannot hide 24/7.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So it's fine when you have all the electricity and all the incredible chemistry that you think you have, because that's another problem. Compatibility, have a compatibility with someone doesn't mean that you have chemistry.
Or if you have chemistry, it doesn't mean that you're going to be compatible in the future. I mean, you can look at it from both angles.
Yeah, and maybe this person is not the right one for you, but you are so excited to be with someone that you are not allowed yourself to see what is actually in front of you. And it's a sensation that you have to be, or you need to be with this person, because the way this person acts around you, it's so familiar that you like the way it feels. But it doesn't mean that it's good for you. It doesn't mean that it's chemistry.
Well, not only that, if you feel it familiar, you know, perhaps you're going to end up repeating a pattern, because if it feels familiar, well, you obviously had other relationships that, well, didn't end up well, in the sense, well, you broke up, right? And now you find this other person that reminds you of the other relationships without, perhaps even in the subconscious, right? And you feel it familiar, so you're like, oh, I'm okay with this, but you don't, because you're so excited about a new start, you don't see them as they are. Like, you're just like, oh, yeah, cool.
Yeah, exactly. You're totally right about what you're saying. That's exactly that, all the excitement.
And butterflies in my stomach and this and that.
And the fireworks.
But as we've mentioned in the past, fireworks, they explode and then they fizzle out. You know, they fizzle, and that's it, right?
And the problem is that somehow we are chasing the fireworks. Instead of seeing how we feel with this person, right? Instead of seeing if I feel in peace with this person, if I feel protected, if I'm feeling like happy and secure and calm, we are chasing the person who is actually making us feel bad, because they bring a lot of anxiety in our lives, which is not a good thing. And we are like, oh my God, this person just texts me, I'm gonna answer. And you are all excited, and suddenly this person is not texting you back, and you start to be like, oh my God, did I do something wrong? Did something happen? What did I do? Oh my God, why he's not texting me? And you start to start like acting like crazy, and all the anxiety, and you are like making yourself miserable because you don't know what's going on. And then this person out of the blue is texting you again, and you are like, oh my God, yes, you know? But you cannot live like that all the time either.
Yeah, it's true. You have to, how can I put it? You have to, you know how to filter things, and sometimes it's very, very hard.
Yeah.
To do that.
That's when be a little bit how can I say that, because it can sound very harsh, and I don't want to sound harsh, But it's when you feel that intensity, that when you have to learn how to be emotional, a little bit more smarter than that, you know, like trying to understand why you feel like that and say, stop. What am I feeling like that? Why this person is making me feel this way? And if I'm able to understand why I'm feeling this way, I might be able to just chill a little bit and think before acting and find the right way to answer or just get out of this situation. Because this is not doing me any good. Because anxiety, nobody likes to be, feeling like, I don't know, living in the middle of nowhere, you know, like where I'm supposed to go, what this person wants. It's like you are in an ecstasy moment and then you are like drowning somewhere. That's not a nice kind of feeling.
That's right. Yeah, no. Life is an ecstasy. It is.
And at the end of the day, what we all want is to be happy and, you know, feel some peace in our life. And at the end of the day, we realize that at the beginning of a relationship, we start by chasing all the time those magnificent fireworks, who at the end, they are not what we want. But when we don't feel those fireworks in the beginning, we think that the person in front the person in front of us is not the right one. But what we have to understand is that you can build chemistry with someone by creating nice moments with this person, having nice conversations, spending time together where the other person is showing you that they care about you. But somehow feeling that kind of peace around us makes us feel that this person is not into us, which is stupid, actually.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, we can complicate our lives.
Oh, we are very good at that.
Indeed, we are. But, so, anyhow, well, now, your nervous system has better taste than your fantasies. It does.
Tell us about it.
Well, I mean, when you meet someone and suddenly you're checking your phone 25 times an hour, or replaying conversations in your head, or analyzing every emoji, every pause, it's easy to say, wow, this must be meant to be. I've never felt this way before, right? So, and you get carried away with that, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, how can you help yourself there? I mean, how can you help yourself from not getting carried away? I mean, the ingredients together can feel intoxicating.
Yeah, totally. And can be painful.
Totally.
So,
yeah.
How do we do that?
Well, honestly, it's hard.
Yeah.
But you can, you can filter them. And you have to listen to your body as opposed to going with chemistry, because chemistry often comes with uncertainty, not knowing where you stand, a little bit of fear,
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what we were saying a little bit earlier. The way that this person can us feel like lost because we don't know where we are standing.
Yeah. You can contrast that with answers when they say they will and they do, when they show up, when they promise.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that we actually need to do when something like that happens, like they say, I'm going to do this, and they promise you they will, is to see if their actions actually goes with what they are saying. Because you can promise a lot of things in your life, but promises can be just empty promises. The only thing that is actually going to show you who the person is by seeing their actions. So one of the things that you can do is to start to filter all these situations where you are feeling anxious and lost, and in this moment where you're like, what am I doing here? Why is this person just acting like that? Why this person is ghosting me? Why this person is just calling me sometimes and acting like I really matter, and suddenly he disappears and shows me that I don't matter? It's exactly that. Just pay attention if what he is saying to you actually matches his actions.
Yeah, which is often not the case.
And then you are able to see exactly what is going on in front of you, and to take the right decisions to see if you really want to be with someone like that.
Yeah, because it can even get dangerous. And why would you want to be with someone like that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why I think when we pay attention and we are able to stop, our anxiety for 5 seconds, or our panic attack for 5 seconds, and just say, stop, I need to breathe and see exactly what is going on, and see if I'm able to analyze all the information that I actually have based on his behavior or her behavior, and see if this person is actually good for me or not.
Exactly. And sometimes it's very hard to have the right criteria.
It's hard to stop, because when we are in that moment of fireworks and excitement, we don't want to stop, because it's like chasing adrenaline.
Yeah. And again, and adrenaline can, if you're chasing fireworks and one blows up in your face, well, that's a firecracker, right?
Or if you start your week of running and jumping and skydiving, and you don't stop for a week, maybe you will end up having a heart attack. So at the end of the day, it's not a good idea either to chase adrenaline all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you don't want to end up with fireworks in your face, as you said.
Yeah, no, it's going to deform you.
Or kill you, you never know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And, moving on, then there's the opposite. Some people, when they're experiencing a routine, they're like, oh, it's boring, but that like, no relationship can be fireworks all the time. We've said this, it can't be like excitement all the time, but some people want to pull out when it gets boring.
Oh, yeah. And again, it's about adrenaline things, because as we said, we cannot live all the time in that state of mind. We need to find peace at some moment. Can you imagine having that amazing party that you always love to go, I don't know, maybe the club, and just spending your entire life inside the club with such an annoying music after a while? You know, you might be happy at that moment, dancing and drinking, but you can imagine your life every single day like that, with non-stop. At the end of the day, I'm pretty sure most of us will end up like living in hell every time we see or hear music, because we are like, enough. It's like having a baby crying. When your kid is crying because he's hungry and you give him something to eat, you're happy because he's not crying. But imagine having your baby 24/7 crying for every single day of the day. You will end up, killing yourself.
Right.
Because that moment is like, oh, my baby is hungry, and you're excited because you have to do something to calm your baby and give him some food, and you know that he's gonna stop. But if he's never stopped, you're kind of, he's driving you crazy.
Yeah.
And that's the point. You cannot live in the middle of fireworks all the time, because at the end of the day, you're gonna end up hating those fireworks. You need to feel some peace around you.
Yes.
You need quiet.
Yes.
And what happened in relationships, when you have a good relationship, is that you start to feel that kind of sensation where you are, oh, there's no fireworks. Why? And then people are like, oh, this is over. My relationship is over because I don't feel anything. No, it's because you are in another level where you actually are where you want to be, because you know that you have this person and you don't have to chase this person, and you don't have to feel bad because, or anxious because this person is not calling you. It's because you already know that you're in a good place. So why you want to end something because you are in a good place, when at the end of the day what we are reaching for a relationship is to have some peace and quiet.
Yeah.
Emotionally speaking, I mean.
Yeah. Now,
because having a relationship with someone who is always yelling at you is not a good relationship. At some point, you are like, oh my God, this person is gonna come home, and is gonna start yelling at me. That's annoying, and you don't want this person to come home. But if you know that your partner is coming home and you are going to have a good time and have a nice meal together, or dinner, or you're gonna go grab something because you want to go out and spend time together, quality time together, it's when you really enjoy your partner. Not when this person is just bringing drama and invading all the peace and quiet that you have when this person is not here.
That's right. That's right. Now, you also shouldn't erase your life for love, because you'll have nothing to land on,
Oh, that's one of the huge mistakes that a lot of people do when they start dating.
Exactly. It's like, they lose themselves, right? Because they devote themselves to that other person, right?
Yeah, they stop existing because they are with someone else, and that's not a good idea, because you need to exist. You need your liberty, you need your life, you need your friends, you need your family.
Yeah, exactly. And
it's the feeling. You might not see this because when you're in a good place with your partner, everything goes well, right? Everything's going well, so you don't feel that you need anyone else.
Exactly.
The problem is when this situation is not as good as they used to, and you start fighting and you start having bad moments, and you have no one to talk about these problems because you realize that you stop talking to everyone and you have nothing to run to and go to talk. And if this person and you end up breaking up, that's when it's very hard because, again, if you didn't have anyone to run or talk to when you were fighting, when you are totally alone because the relationship just ended and you have no one around you, it's like, you have no one. You're like, oh my God, what am I going to do now? And you feel lost, and you feel hurt, and you feel lonely, and you feel abandoned by everyone, when at the end of the day, you are the one who abandoned everyone.
Right, exactly. Because you devoted so much time to that other person.
And you stopped doing your own activities,
Yeah.
Everything was around this person and nothing about you. You have nothing to do. Maybe you used to go biking, and suddenly with a lot of friends around a biking club or whatever, and suddenly you have no one to go bike for because you're alone.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be alone, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go and get my bike and go for a run, and then what? Try to feeling better by yourself, because no one is gonna. I mean, it can work, because maybe you start doing something that you want, and you are able to meditate or think about stuff when you are doing your run. But at the end of the day, you have no one to talk to, because you just stop doing this with your friends and all the friends that you had in that place. And when you go back, they are like, what is coming back?
Yeah.
And you feel like the stranger, because they used to be your friends. And I'm not saying that no one is going to talk to you, but maybe it's going to be hard for them to be present with you when you just cut them off.
Exactly. Well, yeah, because you cut them off. You isolated yourself, and then when it all blows up in your face, you want to reconnect because you feel lonesome, and then
you disappeared. You weren't there when this person had a problem, and then you want her to be, or him to be there for you because you have a problem. And that's the problem, that you lose all the connections that you used to have, even with your BBF.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's serious stuff.
Yeah.
Serious stuff, yeah.
And I'm not saying that it's not possible to have them back, but what I'm saying is it's going to take time, because they won't trust you the same way they used to, because you just cut them off. And if they know that that's the kind of things that you do, well, they can just be like, okay, we talk with this person after, but maybe you're not available when you need them, or they needed you.
Yeah. Well, you say, I'm gonna walk away. Just say that, and that's it.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, but what we're trying to say here is that you don't have to make this person your entire world.
Looking for real conversations about love, connection, and everything in between? Listen to Love Hacks. Honest, heartfelt, and in 4 languages: English, Espanol, Francais, and Portuguese. Find your version wherever you get your podcast. See you soon.
Exactly. Never do that, because people are imperfect, and they can fail, right?
Yeah, and you need your people around you all the time. You need your liberty. You need your space. You need to have your space to be with your friends, to be alone, to do stuff for yourself, to go to the gym if you like, to go for a run if you like it, if you want to go on a weekend with your friends. You are able to do that, and your partner has to respect that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And well, also something else to cover is basically, okay, when we started with this boring thing, well, a real test is how you handle the boring, and the broken, right? So, most of us judge relationships by highlights, amazing dates, trips, the way they post you, the gifts, I've never felt this way before speeches.
Yeah.
But long term is made of two things that almost never show up on, for example, Instagram. Boring days and broken moments. People try not to show boredom or sadness on social media, which is normal. So let's start with boring.
What do you do with your partner when you are boring?
Maybe that's the time to be alone,
Yeah. Or maybe you can just enjoy each other, being together, doing nothing.
Yeah, you can just be a vegetable. Sometimes words
Vegetables. I just imagine myself.
like sometimes, or you just switch off and watch a movie or something,
Yeah. Or maybe you just want to read a book. Or maybe you just want to go and do the dishes when the other person is just reading a book.
Mm-hmm.
And you are actually able to spend a good time with your partner because you have that dynamic that doesn't create any kind of tension when there's nothing to do at that moment but the dishes and read a book.
Yeah, and guys, there's nothing wrong with flat. Sometimes we need it, like I'm needing it right now, and sometimes exhilaration, is too much. So yeah, flat. Okay, you watch your program.
Or maybe you can find a way to, play cards or just having a nice, boring talk with your partner.
Exactly.
Talk about anything and everything.
Yeah.
Or just being together, like, let's have some, let's get a nap because we are tired, and you just sleep for a while with your partner.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sleep for a while. You can watch a comedy also,
Yeah, and what we are trying to say here, guys, is that when you're able to spend time where you have nothing to do and being quiet and enjoy each other, it's because your relationship is in a very good place, and that's what we are looking for. That's what we are seeking at the end of the day.
Absolutely, yeah. But also, like the broken thing also, right? I mean, conflict doesn't mean you chose wrong. It just happens, right? Because if you have a perfect relationship every day, all year, then that really either I don't know, you're somebody from another planet, or not seeing the reality of things, right?
Well, yeah, it's like when George Clooney says that he never had a fight with his wife. I'm not sure about that, guys, because honestly, you cannot agree all the time with this person. Or maybe what is happening in this situation is that he's like, I'm not going to argue because she's right. And if I'm telling her that, sorry, she's right, it works for me and we are all having a good time. But that can be very dangerous to do that kind of things, because when you have really a huge problem and you don't go through that problem, this problem is gonna just be getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, because when we lose our impulse to fight and get over problems and solve the problems, it's when things get even harder to live with.
Yeah, exactly.
So fighting is important. Arguing is important. But the thing is, how are you going to deal after the fight with this person, how are you going to fix things? Because if you fight, you have to fix things, and it's gonna take longer to fix all the things you were fighting for than fighting for them. Because if you continue to fight and fight and fight and fight for the same things and you never fix those things, it's when the relationship is not going anywhere. But if you are able to fight and fix all the problems that make these problems start in the beginning of fight, well, that's when your relationship is gonna get better.
Exactly, yeah. You have to have those conflicts to be able to grow,
Yeah.
and try to reach a middle ground as opposed to avoiding everything, just avoiding and saying everything is hunky-dory.
Yeah, and you have to listen to your partner, and you have to stop listening just because you want to answer and win the argument. It's not about winning. And just find something to defend your point of view. It's about getting somewhere. And I know that we always fight and we are just listening to know how to answer at the end of the day, and that's not going anywhere. You need to listen, and sometimes you have to understand that maybe your partner is not the problem. You are the problem, because you don't want to see the reality. You don't want to see where you are maybe lacking something in you that has to work to be worked on to grow, and not accepting that you have to fix yourself might be the problem.
Yeah, true.
And so you have to listening. You have to understand that sometimes what it's a challenge, it's how you need to. That's the challenge you need to take. You need to be with someone who challenges you. Otherwise, I mean, it's going to be very, very hard. And I'm not saying that challenging, it's always good, but challenging can be a very good thing for a relationship, because you can find things that might align with each other. And sometimes we are like, you need to see life exactly the same way I'm looking at it. If you're like, no, I'm not going to see life the same way you are seeing it, but maybe we can find something that goes the same way or in the same direction, even if it's in different ways. But you can go there together, and that's the point of a relationship. You don't have to follow the same path, but you have somehow to go somewhere together.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Michaela, I think we've covered pretty much everything. So from a personal standpoint, I hope this advice helps you guys. It's helping me for sure. And Michaela, I guess it's helping you too, or you already knew this?
It's something that I've been doing a lot lately. Fixing stuff, because as I say, it's not easy to be with someone all the time. Sometimes it's very, very hard, and sometimes it takes a lot of patience, and that's another thing. You need to be patient to see your partner change, and in order to start changing yourself, to be able to go somewhere with this person. Because another thing that we do a lot is that, I'm changing, you have to change. People don't change when you want them to change and the way you want them to change. People need time to see what they have to change and how.
Yeah.
And sometimes we have no patience, and if you don't have that time and patience to see how your partner is working on himself and how you are working on yourself, it's going to be very, very hard to go somewhere, because patience is a key in a relationship. It's very hard. I'm not saying it's not, but it is one of the most important things to have when you need to fix stuff.
Yeah, I know, and it's hard. It's hard to be patient. For me, it's very hard.
It's hard in general, but with people and your partner, I don't know why, but it's even harder because when you have kids, you're like, okay, he's my son, she's my daughter. They are growing. I need to guide them. I need to help them. So you find something in you, right? To be patient. But when you are dealing with a growing up person or supposedly growing up person, patience is like, how on earth you cannot see this when it's so obvious to me? But again, something it's obvious to you might not be obvious to them, and people are going to love you the way they learn to love, and they don't love the same way you love and show it the same way you need to or want to, or the way you're showing them your love. So again, it's learning about this person, learning to deal with all the difference, and it takes time, and time equals patience.
Yeah.
It's hard, guys. So you need to work all the time in a relationship. A relationship is work. No matter if you are going away from 3 months because you have to go for traveling the world in your job, or you are staying at home and you have a lot of things to do, or maybe you travel a lot and you spend 2 weeks away. It's a lot of work all the time, even when you're not present.
Yeah, true.
So be patient, guys.
Yeah, do so. And well, I guess we're going to wrap it up here, Michaela.
Yeah.
So have a great week, guys. Take care, and we'll see you next week.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye.